Welcome to Fight Back.
Would you like to have a vacuum cleaner powerful enough to lift a bowling ball, a brick, suck dirt from under a rug? We'll try out a few machines and see if they work. Children poison themselves accidentally in their own homes. I'll show you how to avoid the danger and what to do if it happens to your child. You shouldn't have to waste your day waiting for a delivery or a service person to come to your home. I'll show you a way to get them to you on time. I'll follow some airline luggage to find out how it's handled and to make sure it gets where it's going.
All this right here on
Fight back, don't let anyone push you around. Fight back, stand up and hold your ground. Fight back, if someone tries to do you in. Fight back, show them that they just can't win.
We've had to set up a special demonstration area to test the claim of some of the leading vacuum cleaner manufacturers in America today because of the fierce competition in the vacuum cleaner war that is going on. But what do you expect when you shop for a new vacuum cleaner? That it will pick up dirt, right? But suppose you could find one that not only picks up dirt, but claims to pick up nuts, bolts, bricks, and even bowling balls that weigh 16 pounds, or one that will suck up dirt from under the carpet.
On a past show, we tested the Regina vacuum commercial. It picked up nuts and bolts, even some items not mentioned in their claim.
If you think that's something, listen to these letters that we've received from some of our viewers. Logan Thomas, who lives in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, says, the Eureka vacuum cleaner commercial claims it can pick up dirt from under the carpet.
Get ready for power. Eureka ESP Extra Suction Power. Power that can pick up dirt from under your rug. 50% more power. Power that can cut your cleaning time in half. Eureka ESP. The power to sweep you off your feet.
Logan writes, I don't believe it. Our vacuum cleaner can't even pick up the fuzz on the top of the carpet. Would you check this out? Debbie Bufflers, who lives in Clifford, Michigan, writes, Hoover says its vacuum is so powerful that it will pick up a brick. Can you believe it?
The Hoover Dimension 1000 cleaner is powerful enough to pick up a brick. Power. Hoover invented it.
Debbie finishes up her note by saying, this I've got to see you do, David. And Mario Brunetti, who lives in Wakefield, Rhode Island, says, the Auric commercial shows its tiny vacuum picking up 4 times its own weight, a 16-pound bowling ball.
Watch this baby flex its muscle by lifting a 16-pound bowling ball. Now power off. It's in a league by itself.
Come on now, says Mario. They must have glued it on with super glue. Please challenge this commercial. And there it is, bowling balls, bricks,
A brick.
and dirt from under the rug. Claims just waiting for a challenge. All the vacuum cleaner manufacturers' reps were there, waiting for their big chance. First, I will turn on my Auric, which weighs 4 pounds. By the way, this has a special attachment that does not come with your vacuum cleaner if you buy this. And you can't use this on a drain either. Are we ready? Here we go. 16-pound bowling ball. And here it goes, folks. It worked.
Now power off.
It's a strike, a perfect 10. And now, we're going to see if the Hoover Dimension 1000 can lift this 6-pound brick. I have the brick, I have the Hoover. I'm going to turn it on, and let's see what happens. Contact. It works. It works. Let's see if it has enough suction to get one of those bricks. Eureka was so sure their vacuum could pick up dirt from under a rug that they supplied this special platform with a plexiglass top. It was the same one used on the commercial. Baking soda was used instead of dirt, so it could be easily seen by the camera. We also used the same rug. Only the vacuum was new. This part was tricky. I had no idea how fast I was supposed to vacuum or what was going on under the rug. Eureka put its reputation on the carpet by supplying us with all these props. You could feel the tension. Did a pretty good job. It did suck some of that baking powder through the carpet, but it didn't look as good as it did on the commercial. And now I'm waiting for you, our viewers, to find other vacuum cleaner commercials you want us to challenge as the vacuum cleaner manufacturers of America think of new gimmicks to sell their product. And we'll be right back as Fight Back continues. I have a question I want to ask you. Do you think that a youngster could tell the difference between this container of milk and this container of liquid drain cleaner? Well, a lot of them can't. And that's why more than 500,000 youngsters in this country will be accidentally poisoned this year. At least 90% of those poisonings will occur right at home. Much of it is due to look-alike products like the ones I showed you, and parents who simply don't realize how dangerous an ordinary household product can be to a young child. This exhibit at the California Museum of Science and Industry shows just how easy it is for small children to make a deadly mistake. They may confuse medicine with candy, or cleanser with Parmesan cheese. They may drink pine cleaner thinking it's grape juice, or drain cleaner because it comes in the same kind of container as milk.
Here's strawberry soda. This is lamp oil. I want one of you to smell this and tell me, does it smell good or bad? It smells good, doesn't it? Do you know if you took a gulp of this, you could die?
Childproof caps on medicines and other products have undoubtedly saved many lives, but they haven't eliminated the danger entirely.
The elderly have a much tougher time opening these child-resistant caps than children do. And for that reason, oftentimes, your elderly arthritic patient will, once he does get that medicine cap open, leave it open. The grandchildren come to visit. The caps are left unlocked, and that's where some of our more serious poisonings occur.
Children aren't the only ones in danger of accidental poisoning. Pets can also get sick and die from ingesting household chemicals. Dogs are especially attracted to engine antifreeze by its sweet odor and taste. They're also very fond of snail bait, which can resemble dry dog food kibble. So what should you do if your child swallows some potentially dangerous substance? Here's Dr. Bayer's advice.
I think the first thing a parent should do if she suspects a poison is to give her child just a sip of water or milk and then immediately get on the line with her poison center. Never trust the antidote on the back of a product because it may be wrong. It may worsen a poison's damage. As I indicated, I don't think it would cause any harm to ingest a zip of water or milk, but then I would get on the phone immediately with your poison center.
It's very important that you keep the phone number of your nearest poison control center handy. If you don't have it, look it up in the phone book or ask your family doctor where it's located, because you never know when you're going to need it. What's next?
A horror file, David.
Where is it?
You're going to have to find it.
Oh, you got to be kidding. Well, it's not in oils, bread, cereal, kitchenware, spices, or cake mixes. Paper products, foils, wraps, stationery, hosiery, cat food, dog food. No horror file here. You would know it. The horror file is in the produce section because it was put here by our producer. Well, let us start. And the first letter comes from James and Ruth Sullivan, who live in Lubbock, Texas. Talk about confusing labels. Take a look at the label on the carton our adding machine came in. A person could spend all day just trying to figure out which end to open. James and Ruth, at least they won't do anything to you for opening up the wrong end. It's not like the tag on upholstered goods that threatens you with legal action if you tear it off. Our next letter comes from Dorothy Haw, who lives in Monroe, Washington. She says, enclosed photo is one we took of a street sign in Tacoma, Washington. Couldn't believe that they would advertise a rough neighborhood. We couldn't believe it either. So what we did is we called the traffic department in Tacoma, Washington, and they told us they knew absolutely nothing about the sign. They had never or would never post such a sign in the city. Maybe it was put up by some thoughtful neighbors as a warning to visitors not to walk down the street at night alone. 7-year-old Stephen Lingle of Orchard Park, New York, wrote us and said, took this picture while returning from a vacation in Pennsylvania. How can a dog walk area not allow pets? What are dogs? Stephen, you are not the only one confused by this sign. Evelyn Robarts of Whittemore, Michigan, saw one just like it in Florida. She writes, could they mean that the walk is reserved for wild animals on a leash? This one is going to have to remain a mystery. Neither Stephen Lingle or Evelyn Robards could remember where they took these pictures. If any of you out there know the answer, let us know about it because we're curious to find out. And finally, this letter from Dolly Beerer, who lives in Southgate, California. She writes, can't wait for your answer to this rather confusing ad. Van camps, porn, and beans. Dolly, all I can say is you would never find an ad like this on TV. I wonder what the copywriter was thinking about when he or she was putting the ad together. But anyway, if you come across an ad or a sign or a label that amuses you, confuses you, or makes you a little uptight, send it to me. And if we can unravel the mystery on the show, we'll send you a Fight Back t-shirt and a copy of our theme. And we'll be right back as Fight Back continues. I get more letters from people complaining about the same thing. The phone company, or the gas company, or the cable company, or the furniture store promised to come to my house today by noon. I waited all day and they never showed up. What can I do about that? Well, to me, nobody should have to wait all day for their sofa to be delivered, or for the phone company to hook up another extension phone, or for the cable company to come and connect your cable. It's happened to me many times, and each time I have said, there ought to be a law against this type of stuff. And you know what? If a state senator from California has his way, there just might be such a law. California State Senator Bill Lockyer introduced legislation which would require utilities, cable companies, and retailers to guarantee delivery or service within a period of 2 hours on any specified day.
What Senate Bill 101 would do would be to say, company, tell them when you're going to show up. Give people a 2-hour band and say, we'll be there between 9 and 11. We'll be there between 3 and 5 next Thursday. If they don't come, if they don't keep that commitment, then if the person took time off work or incurred some kind of direct expenses related to being at home waiting for the delivery, they can go see Judge Wapner and go to small claims court and say, here are the wages I lost because of the failure to make the delivery that had been promised.
Do you know how much opposition you're going to have to this piece of legislation?
A lot.
If the truck breaks down, that's beyond our control. You can run into a major traffic problem where it will take you an hour and a half just to get through traffic to the particular area that you're trying to deliver to. Retailers are going to end up constantly in and out of court, whether it's justified or not. It's never been a problem for us to get the customer their merchandise. We charge $35, a flat fee, which is very inexpensive for delivering furniture today. If we had to do it in 2 hours, yes, we would have to raise it and also make far fewer deliveries.
Senator Lockyer told me he's willing to make some accommodations in his bill, especially for public utilities during an emergency.
They say, well, give us 4 hours instead of 2 hours, and exceptions if perhaps there's a storm and the the electricity service goes out for a big neighborhood, then we have to take care of the emergency. Fine, I'm willing to make amendments to accommodate those kind of special circumstances.
I understand retailers' concerns that the bill would establish deadlines that are sometimes impossible to meet. But I don't think it's really that serious a threat to any business. First, there are no civil or criminal penalties involved. And second, customers would have to prove significant financial loss because of a delay. What this bill would do, however, is to put companies on notice that if they don't make a serious effort to meet their service and delivery commitments, then they could be held accountable by their customers. This bill was still pending when we taped this show. I personally hope it passes. If it does, other lawmakers across the country should consider this type of legislation. Speaking of waiting for something, how about those tense moments waiting for your checked-in airline baggage to show up? You watch every bag that comes out, hoping that yours will be next. Well, rest assured, you're not the only one concerned that your luggage will arrive on time. United Airlines alone carries over 200,000 pieces of checked baggage every day. That's 60 million pieces of luggage a year. How do they keep track of all this luggage? It's all right here on this one tag.
One of the most important things a person can do when they're checking in for a flight is to make sure that the proper flight number and destination is put on their tag. Because if that is wrong, everything goes wrong. The bag will never be where it's supposed to be.
The bags, once they're checked, when we accept that baggage, we put tags on them, first of all. The tag tells you where it's going. It has a number so that we can regulate it in the computer. Most tags today are barcoded because we do have lasers that read these bags. They go through a system. They're handled by humans, by machines, by robots and computers, hopefully to the right airplane. Once we receive the bag from a passenger, it's checked at the counter or curbside. It goes down through a maze of belt systems that wind up in the basement, which is our bag area, the bag room itself. At that point, then they are routed to the airplanes, the respective airplanes, for departure.
What we have here is a basic schematic layout of our bag system here in Los Angeles. Now, through this board, I can tell whether the system is operating as it's supposed to. Now, all the time the bag is passing on this belt, the computer is tracking it. It knows where on the belt the bag is. When the bag stops at the encoding position, the encoder looks at the tag that the agent or the skycap put on it. And then he'll select the proper destination and push the dispatch button that corresponds with that destination. At that point, the computer dispatches the bag and tracks it down the main line. And the computer tells the puller to pull the bag off the line. Then the bag goes upstairs to the ramp level. The ramp serviceman unloads the bag into the cart or the container, which are taken out and loaded aboard the airplane.
99% of those bags do get to their destinations.
Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. Come on and fly with me, let's fly away. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Llama Land, there's a one-man band, and he'll toot his flute for you. Come on, fly with me, let's take off in the blue. Come fly with me, let's fly, let's fly. Pack up, let's fly away.
Now I have a a couple of tips in case your bag ends up being one of the 1% that is either delayed or lost. Beside putting your name on the outside of the bag, also put it on the inside along with a copy of your itinerary, just in case the tag on the outside should accidentally get torn off. And because so much luggage looks the same, I suggest marking yours with some sort of personal identification, like this piece of ribbon or a tape. That way you can spot it more easily and not accidentally pick up someone else's bag. And most important, try not to travel with expensive designer luggage. Airlines admit that your bag does get some rough handling. Just make sure that it is sturdy enough to take it. And we'll be right back as Fight Back continues. Well, we're all out of time, and I've got my bag, and I've got to go. But as I always say, you have to stay aware and informed and fight back. And don't let anyone rip you off. If you'd like to write to Fight Back, here's our address. Fight Back, Burbank, California, 91523.
Stand up and hold your ground. Fight back if someone tries to do you in. Fight back, show them that they just can't win. They'll step on your toes and rip you off, smiling in your face. Their hands in your pockets, calling you friend. Someone's got to put them in their place. Fight back, show them that you know the score. Fight back.
Now power